Do you ever feel a knot in your stomach or a pounding in your chest when you need to say no? It's like standing at the edge of a cliff, scared to take the leap. We've all been there, struggling to refuse a request without feeling a pang of guilt. Today, I'm going to share 3 crucial insights that will help you say no confidently, without any guilt. Lesson number 1, understand your emotions. Just this morning, I felt that familiar anxiety when my superior asked me to switch from part-time to full-time work, a request I had already declined when we first signed the contract. The moment I read the message, I felt a big hole in my chest and I couldn't breathe. As I typed my response, "No, I'm not available, sorry," my hands trembled and my heart raced. Why did I react so strongly? It was fear of rejection, fear of loss. Our bodies are hardwired to respond to perceived threats, and saying no felt like a threat to my security and acceptance at work. But here's what I learned through this experience. Our emotions are our body's first responders to triggers. They are primitive, instinctive reactions that our minds quickly interpret as feelings. In that moment, I paused to reflect on my bodily sensations and the story I was telling myself. It wasn't just about the request. It was about my deep-seated fears from past toxic jobs and bosses, and the belief that saying no could lead to severe consequences. My mind spiraled into worst-case scenarios of being fired, treated badly, and losing my livelihood. To understand your emotions better, let's break it down. Mindful observation. Take a few moments to sit quietly and observe your body's reactions. Notice where you feel tension or discomfort. Is your heart racing? Are your muscles tight? Simply observing these sensations without judgment helps you become more aware of your body's responses. Naming the emotion. Once you've identified the physical sensations, try to name the emotions you are feeling. Are you anxious, fearful, angry, or sad? Naming the emotion can help you understand what you are experiencing and why. Journaling. Writing down your thoughts and feelings can provide clarity. Describe the situation, your physical reactions, and the emotions that followed. This practice helps you see patterns in your responses and identify underlying beliefs or fears. Reality check-in. Challenge your initial thoughts and feelings by asking yourself a few questions. What is the actual event or trigger? What story am I telling myself about this event? Are my feelings based on facts or assumptions? What evidence do I have to support or refute my beliefs? Breathing exercises. Deep, slow breathing can calm your physiological response. Try inhaling deeply through your nose for a count of 4, holding your breath for a count of 4, and exhaling slowly through your mouth for a count of 4. This practice can help you regain control and think more clearly. Grounding techniques. Focus on your surroundings. Notice 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This technique can reduce anxiety and help you respond more rationally. By incorporating these techniques into your daily routine, you can better understand and manage your emotional responses. This awareness is crucial for confidently saying no without feeling guilty. Lesson number 2, separate your feelings from reality. The second crucial lesson is learning to separate your feelings from reality. This skill is vital for managing your emotional responses and making decisions based on the present moment rather than past fears. After receiving that message from my superior, my mind spiraled into a series of worst-case scenarios: getting fired, being treated badly, losing my job, and ultimately my security. But I paused and asked myself, what is actually happening right now? It was just a question, not a threat. Here are some strategies that help me separate my feelings from reality. Pause and reflect. When you feel an emotional surge, take a moment to pause. This brief pause can create a space between the trigger and your reaction, allowing you to think more clearly. Ask clarifying questions. When faced with a triggering situation, ask yourself questions to clarify your thoughts. What is actually happening right now? What am I assuming about this situation? What are the facts and what are my interpretations? And how would I advise a friend in this situation? Seek external perspectives. Talk to a trusted friend or colleague about the situation. Sometimes an outside perspective can help you see things more objectively and break free from your emotional echo chamber. Use a journal. Write down the event, your initial reaction, and the thoughts that followed. Then write a more objective account of the same event, focusing on the facts without emotional interpretation. Compare the two versions to identify the distortions. Mindfulness meditation. Practice mindfulness meditation to become more aware of your thoughts and feelings without judgment. This practice helps you observe your emotions as they arise and pass, reducing their intensity and impact on your decision making. Here are some cognitive techniques to differentiate past fears from current realities. 1. Identify cognitive distortions. Cognitive distortions are irrational thought patterns that can lead to negative emotions. Challenge these distortions by asking yourself for evidence that supports or contradicts them. 2. Reframe your thoughts. Reframing involves changing the way you think about a situation. Instead of seeing a request as a threat, view it as an opportunity to assert your boundaries. 3. Use the then versus now technique. Compare your current situation to past experiences and ask yourself, how is this situation different from past ones that triggered my fear? What new skills or knowledge do I have now that I didn't have then? How have I successfully navigated similar situations in the past? 4. Develop a mantra. Create a simple positive statement that you can repeat to yourself when you feel overwhelmed by emotions. For example, I am in control of my response, or I am safe and capable. 5. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when you experience negative emotions. Recognize that it's normal to feel scared or anxious and give yourself permission to take care of your emotional needs. By practicing these strategies, you will find it easier to manage your emotions and set clear boundaries. And lesson number 3, communicate clearly and concisely. The final lesson in mastering the art of saying no without guilt is learning to communicate clearly and concisely. Clear communication helps you set boundaries effectively, reduces misunderstandings, and respects both your time and the time of others. When I responded to my superior, I realized the importance of clear communication. Here are the tips that helped me. Be direct and honest. Get straight to the point without beating around the bush. Honesty shows respect for both yourself and the person you are communicating with. Use I statements. Frame your response from your perspective. For example, say, I am not available instead of you are asking too much of me. This approach minimizes defensiveness and focuses on your needs. Keep your tone calm and assertive. Maintain a steady and calm tone. Being assertive doesn't mean being aggressive. It's about being firm yet respectful. And practice active listening. Listen to the other person without interrupting. Acknowledge their request and then communicate your response. This shows respect and consideration for their needs. Avoid over-explaining. You don't owe anyone a lengthy explanation. A brief, clear response is sufficient. Over-explaining can weaken your stance and make you seem uncertain. Offer alternatives when appropriate, of course. If it's a situation where you can provide an alternative solution, do so. For instance, I can't take on this project right now, but I can help you find someone who can. Concise responses are powerful for several reasons. 1. Clarity. Short and direct responses are easier to understand and leave less room for misinterpretation. 2. Respect for time. Being concise respects both your time and the other person's. It shows that you value efficiency and clarity. 3. Strength and confidence. A concise no demonstrates confidence and decisiveness. It shows that you are clear about your boundaries and priorities. 4. Reduces anxiety. Over-explaining can lead to anxiety and uncertainty. A clear and concise response is less mentally taxing and reinforces your decision. For example, instead of saying, I am really sorry, but I don't think I can help with this project because I'm already overwhelmed with other tasks and I need to focus on them, you can say, I can't take on this project right now, but thank you for thinking of me. By practicing these communication techniques, you will build confidence and be better prepared to handle real-life situations where you need to say no. Remember, clear and concise communication is key to setting effective boundaries and maintaining healthy relationships. Communicating clearly and concisely is crucial for setting boundaries and saying no without guilt. By using practical tips for effective communication, understanding the importance of concise responses, and practicing regularly, you can confidently assert your needs and priorities. Regular practice will help you become more comfortable with saying no, ensuring that you respect both your own boundaries and the needs of others. Now, I invite you to take the first step in reclaiming your power to say no without guilt. It's normal to feel a bit awkward at first, but with practice, it becomes second nature. For more insights on how our brain processes emotions and how understanding this can help you manage your responses, watch my video, How Our Brain Processes Emotions, The Science Behind Emotions Explained. The link is in the description and on the end screen. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated for more tips on living a balanced and empowered life. Remember, you have the power to say no and prioritize your well-being. Thank you for your time and attention. See you in the next video. Much love.